Thank you so much, Chris, for talking to us. Just to start, can you just tell us a little bit about your club and why you decided to set it up?
Yes, I mean, our club, AKS Zły from Warsaw, Poland, was established in 2015 as a fan-owned club. This is something that came from other countries. Maybe it used to be in Poland before the World War or something, but then things were in a way that almost all clubs are either owned by business or they are owned by maybe people who are involved in the club, but they are generally closed. I mean, they are not accepting fans, supporters, or people from the street in general to join and to be the members. So we were following the idea that as citizens who want to do after our sport life, but we want to stay in sport and create the club, we would like to follow like the old way, maybe, because we find it valid. So we are the sport club, which is open, so everyone can sign up, become the member of club, which is formed as association, and together we do things. In general, we run the club from the sport perspective, but we also use the fact that we all meet in the stadiums in order to make some social, social activities towards people from our neighborhoods, but also towards, let's say, migrants. And whenever there is a problem that we can act, we use our network to be there, and we can act quite quickly with quite a large fan base. Even we are amateur, small sport club from lower leagues, but we are having like access to like 200 club members. We are having access to more than 10,000 supporters who follow up us on social media, and so this was like the main thing, that we wanted to go back to the origins of sport and form it together, but also because the second reason actually is that we were facing like the clubs in the highest leagues in Poland are very polarized. I mean, especially from the standpoint of ultras, from the fans, supporters who are very political and not necessarily in the way we expect to be political. So from there, like a lot of hatred is generated there, and we wanted to make a totally different environment. And since we couldn't change existing clubs, we said like, well, maybe if we establish our own club, that we'll have everything under control and we'll do it our way.
And so obviously this kind of hatred and discrimination is a problem in Poland. Do you see this as a problem everywhere? If you talk to people in other countries, do you think this is a Polish problem or football in general?
I think it is a problem in Central, due to many historical reasons. I think there are differences between countries. I think in Central and Eastern Europe it is a valid problem. I think maybe, I mean, there's probably many theories, but from the one, we are ex-communist countries. So we are very conscious about left politics, because we have very bad experience with that. So, like we are, whereas we don't have that much of the bad experience with far right. So, giving this comparison, for instance, in Germany there is completely other thing. I mean, the far right supporters are not that much present in the stadiums. We are having opposite. We are not having left-wing supporters on the stadium. We are having very far right extremists actually in many of the ultras group. So basically, I see the problem is worldwide in other countries also, but there are differences, of course.
And so, what steps is your club taking to make sure that this kind of hatred and discrimination doesn't take place in your club? What kind of things do you do to make it inclusive?
So basically we are very family-oriented club. So we are not active in any hooligan scene. We invite people with families to our stadium, and swearing is forbidden. So basically, when we have songs, we don't swear. We are not aggressive towards rivals, towards referees. We try to make it positive, but doesn't mean that our chanting is not crazy, that we don't use flares sometimes and other things. But we want to make all of these ultras things in a positive manner. And so this is the main difference. And the second thing is that we also encourage all of our supporters to use this opportunity that we are meeting on the stadium, and then we are having a lot of social activities where we could help. These are really, since this couple of years that we are set, it is quite a lot of things that we've done.
So what kind of other social projects are you taking part in as well as just football?
So it is because this is all depends of the current needs. Let's say during the pandemic time, a couple of our supporters were in the past working as a social workers with people in a homeless crisis. And pandemia, when there was a lockdown, all of the sudden those people who were living thanks to the maybe begging on the street for money, for food, they all of the sudden lost their source of food, of everything. So back then we immediately formed a group, to work, volunteer, to make food, release food, gather clothes, and so on. And so, as I said, this is all depends on the situation, what are the current needs. So obviously, nowadays we are having the war just next to our border, and since the February, our life is focusing mainly in activities wherever we can help refugees from Ukraine.
And so because your approach is so different, when you travel to other clubs or when other clubs come to visit you, do you see that people are, how do people react to your way of doing things, other clubs in Poland?
Well, except because we need to say that there's quite a lot of people coming on our games compared to the level, because we are playing, we established two teams simultaneously, male and female team, and we are pro-equal rights, and we try to treat them equally. But still we started from the bottom. So we are with female team on the 4th level, with the male team on the 7th level. So we are visiting stadiums where there is usually not that much of the supporters. And we are having actually the fan base, which is usually larger than any of our rivals. But I must say that except of those clubs that are former big clubs which bankrupt and they are re-establishing, but had some fan base from the past, and actually during these years there were two clubs like that they have active, you can say, neo-fascist groups. And with those, we fight some issues. These games were with police and risk and so on. But 99% of our games, with regular people, regular supporters from small cities around Warsaw where we play, it's very good, very honest. I mean, and we respect each other, and this is really good.
So I guess to finish on a positive question again, you've already given us a lot of positives there, but what do you see as ideas for the future for football? How can more people make inclusive clubs and make football a more inclusive sport?
Well, this is a valid question, and probably if someone would know, we could be, like an expert in the field and maybe make more money. I mean, there are problems with the sport in general. As you might see, from one end there's gentrification, and the clubs are more like only business source for their owners, and not that much of the things are happening there, except that this is only the like sport just as a show. But I think this is of course up to local encouraging, I think, through maybe local authorities, maybe local influencer, local actors, that I use sometimes in comparison, like football stadium is like a church, because like people used to go to the church often, and this was the place where the local community meet. We don't have that much of such places, because usually people spend their time with their friends, with the family, so they meet other neighbors in the church. And the other place when a lot of people is going is the local stadium, usually football as the most popular place. So definitely this is something that that it is low-hanging fruit, to approach these people like, listen, you need to support your team. Why don't you also do some good stuff? And this is sometimes happening, but of course, I think this is something that can change in a positive way everywhere.
Okay, well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks.